Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Yeah, Arna, Kennerud, Skycaptain, 2 white, blue and black is today's video. Now this one's unusual because most of the previous modified creatures have either been green or red. And Arna gives us a whole new take on this because we're white, black and blue and +2 for a 4/4 flying lifelink with ward where they have to discard a card. And whenever a modified creature you control attacks, double the number of each kind of counter on it. Then for each non-token permanent attached to it, create a token that's a copy of that permanent attached to that creature. I don't think we've seen anything quite this good for auras, and equipment in a long time come through. This is very, very strong in my mind. I think it's going to be one of the key cards in Commander going forward. That's my personal opinion. I haven't really seen anyone talking about Arna in Commander as of yet, and I thought, well, to me it makes sense to have this go through as an aura and equipment deck, and that's what we're doing today. So this is what today's deck looks like. So, just as a reminder, don't forget I'm not including any other MH3 cards. If there's anything you think should be included in the deck, please let me know in the comment down below. I haven't had time to study the complete card list, so I'm just going by gut instinct and what I think will be good. So, Arna Kennerud, which is a bit annoying, you can't put the umlauts over the top of the U, is basically going to be an equipment stroke aura deck. So a lot of the creatures you see in normal equipment aura decks are here. So the steel shapers here, the core outfitter to go and get an equipment attached, light paws Emperor's voices here for the aura side, pure steel paladin to make sure equipment gets to the card and we can equip things with Zero when we get the Metalcraft on the go. Relic Seeker to go and find a piece of equipment and put in our hand when it becomes renowned, which we should be able to do quite easily, I think. Saram is here to give us the card draw. Sun Spear Shirakai, I like this card. A lot of people don't play this one, it's only common, but if you put an equipment on it, first strike and lifelink is actually really quite useful. I've included Thieving Skydiver for a bit of a change. We can nick Soul Rings, we can nick Arcane Signets, so on and so forth. But if we can nick some equipment from someone and put it on the Thieving Skydiver itself, yeah, I'll be quite happy with that. Arden, Intrepid Archaeologist, is here so we can move things around and attach them to permanents. The Brass Squire lets us just auto-attach an equipment to a creature we control. Danith Caspian Paragon is also here, cuts the cost of our auras and equipment down by 1, as well as having first strike, vigilance and lifelink, which putting some things on it gives people a bit of a nightmare, especially with the first strike. Sky Hunter Cub is also in. We hopefully get it equipped, give it so it has +1/+1 and flying, plus whatever the equipment gives it. I've played the Archon of the Wild Rose just for a bit of a change, because we do have auras in here, so if we do get auras enchanting our creatures, we can make them 4/4s with flying. That sounds good to me. Armored Sky Hunter comes in. Look at the top 6. We get an aura equipment that way. Balan Wandering Knight had to be here. We are playing equipment, so yep, that's fine. And Benny Brack Zoologist. I like this card in this deck because at the beginning of your end step, at the end of each end step, if you create a token this turn, draw a card. And don't forget, with Arna, we do get to make tokens of a permanent that's attached to a creature, so we might get the odd card draw off this, and I think it's worthwhile giving the risk and giving it a slot in the deck, to be perfectly honest. Halvar, God of Battle, is also here, so we're either going to get the double striking side on the go, or we can go turn it into the Sword of Realms. We need another piece of equipment for the +2/+0 and vigilance, and whenever a quick creature dies, return it to its owner's hand. So it does have its upsides. The other version of Danith is here, the Benalia's Hope. First strike, vigilance and lifelink again as a 4/4. And if there's something in our, if we've got a piece of equipment or an aura in our hand, we just get to put it onto the battlefield attached to Danith. Makes sense to me. Stone Hero Giant gets to go in for 4/4 and then do the whole 1 and a white, tap it, search your library for an equipment card, put it onto the battlefield, attach it to a creature you control, so you can save your Stone Hero Giant if you need to. Twisted Sewer Witch I've put in because it does create tokens, and it basically makes rats that have Wicked Roller tokens attached to them. So that's quite nice with Arna because that means you get to, for each non-token permanent attached to it, create a non-token that's a copy of a permanent attached to that thing. Yeah, so it does work out quite nicely. We just got worry about it. We're not too worried about the counters. It's the second part we like with Arna, because it is modified. So yeah, that's cool. Elenda and Azor here just do a bit of card draw, and maybe a bit of life loss, and get some Vampire Black Knights with life link equal to the number of cards we're drawn this time. I'll cope with that. That's fine. Heavenly Blade Master comes in. Whenever a Heavenly Blade Master enters the battlefield, you may attach any number of auras and equipment you control to it. All the other creatures get +1/+1 for each aura and equipment attached. So, yep. And the final one, Kappa Cannoneer. I couldn't resist having it in here. Improvise, tap our equipment down even after we attack to play this out for cheap. Ward falls hard to deal with. Artifacts come into play means we get to put lots of +1/+1 counters on the Kappa. So it should work. Little bit of control with Damnation and Wrath of God. And Unfinished Business returns the target creature card from our graveyard to the battlefield, and then we get to return up to 2 target auras and or equipments from the graveyard to the battlefield attached to that creature. Stranger things have happened at 5 mana, I'll be honest. We have a fair few artifacts. The ramp side is here: a Mox Tantalite, Soul Talisman, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, one of each of the respective talismans. That's what we went with the ramp side of it, but then we've got all the equipment side as well, bar Elixir of Immortality, which I decided to put in the deck in case things go pear-shaped. But Basilisk Collar's here to give the creature Death Touch and Lifelink. Captain's Claws, so we get some core ally tokens that are tapped and attacking when we go in. Seraphic Greatsword, +2/+2. As long as we attack the person with the most life, we get a 4/4 Angel token. Sword of the Animist to go and fetch out our basics. Andril, Flame of the West. Oh, that's horrible artwork. Whenever equipped... I'm going to have to find another thing. Hold on a second. That's better. That makes it readable now. Whenever equipped creature gets +3/+1, and whenever equipped a creature attacks, create 2 tapped 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying. If the creature is legendary, they're tapped and attacking instead. Right. From Andril, we go to Champion's Helm. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, and if it's legendary, it has hexproof. A lovely one to put on Arna. Dark Steel Plate just makes it indestructible. Itself is indestructible. The creature becomes indestructible. Another one that goes on Arna quite happily. Loxodon Warhammer, +3/+0, trample and lifelink. Thank you. Nettle Cyst is the living weapon, so you can just play this and have it come in as a little germ, 0/0 token. But equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact and or enchantment you control. 2 of the swords, Sword of Body and Mind and the Sword of Feast and Famine. They're mainly here because I've been seeing a slight uptick in green decks, so I picked these 2 for the pro-green side of it. Body and Mind gives you a wolf, and then you get to mill someone, and the Feast and Famine, they get to discard a card, and then you untap all the lands you control. So you do get a second good post-combat main phase, for want of a better phrase. Helm of the Host, because, yeah... I just like Helm of the Host basically, and I think it's a great piece of equipment that doesn't see enough play. Enchantments wise, to make sure we've got the auras, we've got Curiosities for the card draw, we've got Griff's Boon for the +1 and flying, and the return from the battlefield if we need to. Sigarda's Aid is here, so we can cast our auras and equipment with flash, and then the equipment automatically equips when it comes into play. Brain Dead All That Glitters, I'm still surprised this is available, but yep, it's still here. Animate Dead, so we can go and nick something from the graveyard, especially if we've managed to mill them with Body and Mind. Go and nick one of their cards is probably a good idea. Great Auramancer. People going to probably query this one, but other enchantments you control have Shroud, and enchanted creatures you control have Shroud. Now, Shroud, if you don't remember, it means you can't target. It's not like hexproof, but it means everyone on the board can't target, including us. However, making some of our creatures have Shroud could be really beneficial in this deck, so hence why I've included the Greater Auramancer. I think it's going to be useful. Just be careful casting your auras on creatures if you then want to equip them. Ordeal of Thassa, that's the whole +1/+1, gets a whole load of counters, means we can double up the counters on the creature. That's one of the ways we've got of doing it anyway. And then when we get to the 3 or more counters, sacrifice the Ordeal and we get to draw a couple of cards. That's fair. Rune of Flight for the height drawing and the flying side of it, and we can put it on equipment, so that's actually a bit good. Rune of Mortality, same thing, goes on equipment, gives something Death Touch and draw a card. Rune of Sustenance does the whole life link and go on equipment as well. So, yeah, I think the runes are pretty good. You can either play them on the creatures. They're great if you've got the Greater Auramancer out, obviously, because they become untargetable and have to be blocked to be killed off. But if you put them on the equipment, yeah, I can see the benefit in that. Efara's Enlightenment does the +1/+1 on enchanted creature that gives it flying, and basically whenever the creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may return Efara's equipment to its owner's hand. So, you know, Enlightenment, sorry, not equipment. So you can bounce it around if you need to. Gift of Orzhov is here for +1/+1 flying and lifelink. Griffin Guide for the +2/+2 and flying and become a griffin when everything dies. Hope Against Hope. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each creature you control. And if you put it on a human, it has first strike. Putting this on Arna can make people upset very quickly. Be aware. Felidar Retreat. Chuck around some +1/+1 counters so we can get the benefit of the attacking with modified creatures even more. Likewise, Cathar's Crusade is here for the same reason, along with Virtue of Loyalty. These three cards are here to chuck around +1/+1 counters as soon as possible, and that's what we're going to do with them. Land-wise, blue, black and white lands all the way through. We have played Field of the Dead in this deck just because I needed to think of getting some more zombies out. I thought it would be quite useful, and we should be able to get it out because we are playing 3 colours, so hitting 7 different land types should be straightforward. 4 of each basic type, and then Herbal Telm with Yawgmoth at the bottom because, you know, yes, we've got black. We haven't got that much black though, so but I decided to include it just for land. And that is it. I think Arna's going to be good. I think Arna's going to be strong. I think people are going to be upset seeing Arna really, really quickly. However, there are swords that can be played. I'm sure there's equipment I've missed from the new set. But like I said previously at the start of the video, if there's anything you think should be included, let me know in the comments down below. I can update the decks when I get there. I'm hoping the decks I do next week I'll be a bit more au fait with the MH3 deck set itself, so I'll be able to include some more of the cards as things go along. But for now, I hope you've enjoyed this one. Let me know in the comments if there's anything you think you should add in. Please, if you can, hit the subscribe button, help me out. 429 as I record this one, trying to get to 500 still by the end of 2024, so help me out if you can. And if you want to see me play this deck in a week or so's time on stream, please, down below, Twitch, come and give me a follow over there, where I'm seeing at 234 followers on Twitch. So the more the merrier over there as well. You can see me play some of these games on MTGO. But for now, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.